video number 3 in our series of helping you improve that front rack position. So right now what we've gone through a couple of different techniques. We have gone through just using the barbell to open up that front rack. We've also gone through using a lacrosse ball to release that pec and release your scapula. That won't only help that front rack, but that'll help your overhead as well. What we're going to use today is we're going to use some resistance bands just to go through some more stretches that can help improve that position. But as with the lacrosse ball and as with that pec release and that scap release, these stretches will not only help that front rack position, but they're going to help your overhead position as well. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. There's a couple of different variations. People call it a few different things. For us, I'm just going to run through what we generally refer to it as, and I'm also going to run through how we do the particular movement. So first things first, you want a resistance band. You want a fairly heavy resistance band, but not something that you're going to struggle to pull the tension. Okay, so right now I'm just using the green resistance band. So the very first one I'm going to do is just a tricep stretch, and then we'll move on into a lat stretch. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm just going to stick my wrist through the band and I'm going to loop it through. I want my hand running underneath there, and then from there I'm just going to turn through, and I'm basically just emulating that front rack position. I want to keep those ribs tucked down in line with my pelvis, keep my chin nice and neutral, and that elbow nice and close to my head. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean into it. Okay, if I feel my ribs flaring out, I'm going to tuck them back down. That's just going to increase that stretch through your lats, through your tricep. I'm going to hold, breathe out, stretch into it a little bit more, get that nice big stretch out there. So you'd probably go 30 seconds to a minute each side with that. From there, while it's anchored up high, the other one, maintaining that same position in your hand, I would just, almost like a bow and arrow, where I'm going to try and pull back from there. I'm just keeping that under tension and I'm just turning away. I want to try and keep those shoulders square if I can. So if I let my shoulders come all the way through, I'm going to miss that stretch. So by keeping my shoulders square and that elbow straight and then just turning away, I'm going to get that nice stretch throughout my anterior delts and throughout my tricep as well. So they're the first two in the series that'll help. The next thing you're going to need to do is you'll need to take the band, and we're just going to lower it onto one of the uprights on the pull-up rig. We'll wrap it around, and where we're trying to anchor that is around about hip height. Now this one takes a few pretty cool dance moves in order to get into, so you got to do a little bit of a twist, but same deal, wrist through, wrap it around, and then from there I'm going to turn and I'm going to get that band behind my back. This is called a bully stretch. Okay, we've got the arm behind our back, we've got that shoulder locked back and down. I'm going to take up tension, and that's just going to start to stretch out my traps, stretch out my chest. If you have a really tight neck, which could restrict that front rack mobility, an extra stretch you can get is just to take your opposite hand and pull your ear down towards your shoulder on the other side, and that'll just increase that stretch. Also, by moving your chin up and down, you'll be able to find different tight spots that are there that you can hold through. This is still probably anchored a little bit low. I want to raise it up. Okay, I want it about the same height as where my arm is. So if you come around behind, you can see the position my arm's in there. Okay, and then I can pull my ear to the other side from there. All right, another nice lat stretch just to finish off. We can pull back. Again, ribs tucked down. We're not going into that cat position, and I'm just pulling back. That's just going to stretch out those lats as well. So if I run through that series of 4 stretches with the band, I'm going to hold for about 30 seconds to a minute each. I probably want to repeat that 2 to 3 times. Then if you go and jump back on the barbell, you'll probably find that by loosening all that off, that's going to then go and increase that range of motion and hopefully improve that front rack position. So to finish off, using these techniques is great, but don't just use them once. Consistently use them in order to improve those positions. And then when you get under tension, make sure that you're working to maintain good posture and position and you're staying into a really good position. They're not just a once-off thing, there's something you need to keep up with. Otherwise, that position's going to degenerate. You want to make sure that you stay on top of it, improve that front rack position, and pick that clean game up. All right, have fun with it. Bye.